10 years later, Taylor Sheridan's thriller, that's on Amazon Prime Video, is still better than his Yellowstone shows. One of Taylor Sheridan's earliest projects, Sicario, is currently available on Amazon Prime Video, and it's still superior to his work on Yellowstone. The Kevin Costner-led neo-western kicked off in 2018, and despite a lukewarm reception to the first season, the series quickly became a hit, providing Paramount Network with a contender in the prestige television game. Until Yellowstone's ending in 2024, Taylor Sheridan's series was consistently one of the most viewed shows in the world, resulting in multiple spin-off series and other high-budget television projects for Sheridan on Paramount+. Taylor Sheridan has become a prolific success from Yellowstone, with his work essentially carrying Paramount+ on its back, giving it a chance against more prominent services like Netflix and Hulu, which have had far longer to accumulate libraries of original, exclusive content. Sheridan's TV shows include Tulsa King, 1923, and most recently, the Billy Bob Thornton-led oil industry drama, Landman. Though they haven't all been critically acclaimed, they've practically all been popular, with a mega producer pumping out multiple seasons of television each year. Despite all of Sheridan's work on the Yellowstone franchise and his other series being popular, he's yet to have a project that tops Sicario as the crowning jewel of his filmography. The 2015 movie was Taylor Sheridan's entry into screenwriting after struggling as an actor for years on shows like Sons of Anarchy. Sheridan's writing, combined with the esteemed quality of filmmaker Denis Villeneuve, Dune, Blade Runner 2049, made Sicario one of the most compelling, rich action/crime thriller films of the decade, even spawning a sequel that was less well received. Taylor Sheridan's various shows have their high points and their low points. The disparity in quality between, say, Yellowstone Season 3 and Yellowstone Season 5 is drastic, even though there are moments of genius in both. Sicario's success could be attributed to Denis Villeneuve's direction, as the 2018 sequel, which didn't involve him, was met with far more mediocre reception. Even though Sheridan proved he wasn't a one-hit wonder with 2016's Hell or High Water, another great film that earned him an Oscar nomination, it's worth examining why he's yet to live up to Sicario. Taylor Sheridan is undoubtedly successful, and the popularity of his work is indicative of writing oriented toward a target audience that he's proven capable of impressing. That being said, there's a noticeable difference in quality between his earlier work and his newer shows. Even in cases like Landman, a show that's been well received and earned Golden Globe nominations, it's not that the writing is bad. It's primarily that it's repetitive in its use of character archetypes and dramatic stakes that have already been used in Yellowstone and his other series. Billy Bob Thornton's Tommy Norris is an incredibly entertaining character, but it's hard not to note the similarities between his dialogue and John Dutton's. Landman Episode 4 even saw Rebecca Falcone directly repeat a zinger line that Beth Dutton said in Yellowstone Season 3. Taylor Sheridan isn't going to stop pumping these shows out as long as they're still finding success on Paramount+, which is frustrating given what he's proven capable of when giving the proper time and attention to his projects. The issue of quantity over quality is becoming apparent. It's not like Taylor Sheridan is in need of some career revival where he needs to rely on Denis Villeneuve for a sequel. However, the prospect of this duo reuniting for a third Sicario film is too exciting not to consider. Given that it's been 10 years since the first film, it would be fascinating to see how both artists have developed in their craft. Denis Villeneuve is currently working on his third Dune movie, and Sheridan is booked up with 1923, another upcoming Yellowstone sequel, and subsequent seasons for his other series, so there would be a wait. Even if it means holding off for a few more years, if both parties are interested, Sicario 3 could be an excellent film, especially given how much of an audience the original movie has accumulated over time. There's been discussion on and off for years about them returning for another sequel, and especially now that Yellowstone is over and done with, it's the perfect time for Sheridan to take a break and return to Sicario. In a decade's time, Taylor Sheridan's thriller, Hell or High Water, still stands as one of the finest works in the writer-director's growing filmography. A towering achievement far surpassing his much-discussed television empire, notably the Yellowstone universe. While Yellowstone undoubtedly brought Sheridan mainstream recognition, it is Hell or High Water, a gritty, slow-burn neo-western that continues to echo through the world of film, surpassing his television creations in terms of both critical acclaim and lasting emotional impact. When Hell or High Water first premiered, it instantly stood out as a stark departure from what was expected of a typical modern Western. Instead of the sweeping, epic landscape of the traditional frontier, Sheridan's screenplay offered a sharp, intimate portrayal of two brothers, Toby, Chris Pine, and Tanner Howard, Ben Foster, as they rob small-town Texas banks to save their family ranch. The simplicity of their motivations, to protect their legacy from the impersonal greed of a powerful banking system, gave the film a clarity that felt universal, a deep, resonating connection to the struggles of the common man. In comparison, Yellowstone created a larger-than-life world centered around John Dutton, Kevin Costner, a rancher fighting to protect his sprawling land from political corruption, corporate greed, and family betrayal. Over the years, Yellowstone evolved into a spectacle of violent power plays, betrayals, and unrelenting drama that captured the imagination of millions. But despite the grandeur of the show's sweeping plotlines, it often felt like the characters were mere pawns in a far-reaching chess game, sometimes less focused on genuine emotional connection than on ambitious storytelling arcs. Hell or High Water thrived in the emotional crux of its characters, offering deeper psychological insights into the pressures and moral quandaries that shape each decision. The success of Hell or High Water was in its ability to provide a taut, suspenseful plot that never lost sight of its heart. Despite the bank heists and law enforcement chasing down the brothers, the film's true narrative strength lies in its exploration of family, loyalty, and the scars of poverty. Taylor Sheridan's ability to convey the suffocating weight of their choices, even as Toby tries to secure a better future for his sons, gave the film emotional depth, leading to its critical acclaim and multiple Oscar nominations. The film didn't rely on flashy set pieces or exaggerated melodrama, but instead focused on the rawness of human motivations. The result was a profound, quieter thriller, one that resonated with audiences not just for its narrative, but for its emotional authenticity. The Yellowstone shows, meanwhile, though still incredibly popular and deserving of praise for their scope, never quite achieved that same level of intimacy. Sheridan's brand of tension, whether in the power struggles between John Dutton and his family, or between land developers and indigenous landowners, at times overwhelmed the emotional underpinnings of the characters. The spectacle became too consuming, drawing attention away from the human heart of the story. Over time, viewers found themselves less emotionally invested in the Dutton family's personal struggles and more captivated by their survival in a dog-eat-dog world. Moreover, the pace of Yellowstone, sometimes bogged down with melodramatic interludes, constant shifting between multiple storylines, and recurring plot points of vengeance, felt drawn out and repetitive. While the first few seasons showcased the brilliance of Sheridan's storytelling, the show began to lose its sense of narrative balance. The staggering violence, though exciting at times, started to feel like an attempt to outdo itself, an arena of power struggles that grew more complex, but less focused on the heart of the story. Then there's the case of character development. Hell or High Water is perhaps one of the best examples of Sheridan's true talent for crafting compelling, multi-dimensional characters. The character of Marcus Hamilton, played by Jeff Bridges, remains one of the most captivating aspects of the film. As an aging Texas Ranger hot on the trail of the brothers, Hamilton brings a subtle yet commanding presence, a figure whose inner conflict becomes just as gripping as the chase itself. His disheveled wisdom and the empathy he shows toward Toby and Tanner make him a fascinating contrast to the typical tough lawman figure. Hamilton's backstory is alluded to, giving him layers that resonate with the emotional tones of the film. In comparison, many characters in Yellowstone, particularly in the later seasons, lost that richness. As the series expanded, the Duttons and their extended circle of friends, foes, and frenemies felt less like relatable human beings and more like archetypes trapped in an unending game of power.